Welcome back, YouTube and Diablo Immortal fans. Turbo Gaming here. We're going to go over some open world farm builds, the new and improved open world farm build with the new essences. But before we do that, I want to show that we're going to use Anointed Brimstone Helm for consecration and pain clasp. Nothing else here is going to be giving any kind of damage over time. I'm using a 2-piece banquet. Does not do any damage over time. A 4-piece Isitar does not do any damage over time, and a 2-piece V-Thus. So what I want to show you guys is we have no pain class buff. We put on the consecration, and we have the pain class buff. I know what consecration says. It applies burning. I know that when you read the skill, it doesn't read as a damage over time. But, as I just showed you, you put this on, you get the pain clasp. It works. So, with that said, let's continue the rest of the video for open world farm build. Now, prior to this, my open world farm build, it was, activate, right here. As I just stated before, I'm using a 2-piece banquet, a 4-piece Isitar, and a 2-piece V-Thus. Over on the other side, we'll hit the gems using Void Spark. It's great for area farming. It's tons of monsters and range is wonderful. I previously used Berserker's Eye for the extra 16% damage. It's a 1-star gem, easy to get ranked 10, and Awakened Gear. Awakened Gear is really nice. As well with the 2-star gems that I have, they're all ranked 10 for the Awakenings. This piece, mostly if you look at the very bottom here, the damage unto elites and bosses, extra 6%. That's what I like about that, plus it's ranked 10 for me. We have Bottled Hope, wonderful gem, helps with the cooldown decreasing. The Mother's Lament does great damage, and it's ranked 10. The Pain Clasp, as I just showed you guys, it works with this build. Some people were telling me that there's no reason to have it because it doesn't work. It does work. It works with this build, and it's ranked 10 as well. Rolling Consequence, about the best damage gem in the game right now. And then finally, Bloodsoaked Jade, which everybody likes. So we have the gems. We have Anointed Brimstone for the helm. It's going to give us our consecration damage and proc the pain clasp. We're going to have Commander's Rally. We're going to have 100% uptime on our drawn quarter, our horse. And with that 100% uptime means we're going to have 100%, 20% extra damage. 19%. Close enough, right? This is going to help us with that 100% uptime. The horse, Scalping Brilliance, is also going to help us with that 100% uptime and create an aura to do extra damage. Don't worry about this piece. There's no other main hand piece that works with this build, so I just left that there because it's for my next build. Luminous Rain. The wonderful Falling Sword area, huge area. Love this one. Does great damage, and it slows your enemies. Not a big deal. Finally, we have Zanula's Last Hymn. We use this primarily for the cooldown on consecration. I didn't really care about the slow. The Luminous Rain does the slow, plus who really cares about the slow? We're running faster and all of it. But it was the cooldown that mattered. I wanted that consecration hunt 100% uptime, and I got pretty close. Impregnable Orbit, I needed one more skill, and this one fit. So, there we go with the skills. Here's the setup. What I'm going to do is top right over here, top right again, interface, make sure that my primary attack is on, make sure the delay is at 0, so there's no delay between my primary attack activation. The way you activate primary attack, if you hit the attack bottom right with 1 finger, it does 1 attack. If you hit it with 2 fingers, it turns on auto attack. I'm not touching anything right now, it's auto attacking on its own. Hit it with 1 finger again, and it stops the auto attack. That's wonderful for open world farming. Reason being, you get on your horse, you hit 2 fingers, auto attack's going, and all you have to do is hit the abilities as they appear. You don't have to hold the button down. You don't have to release the button, and you're constantly going to be swinging that attack. And it's just nice, little extra damage for when you're hitting stuff when you're getting close enough to hit it. Let's go ahead and showcase a DPS for the old build that I had here. We're going to hit the horse, the auto attack, and then my other skills. Now, while we're waiting on this DPS, what I'm going to talk about is the Crusader open world farm, one of the easiest open world farms. Yes, the Barbarian and Wizard and Necromancer can all go about the same speed, but they're pushing buttons every 1 to 2 seconds. As you can see on my screen, I'm hitting a button every 8 to 10 seconds, and then maybe 3 buttons every 10 seconds. A lot less button pushing. I enjoy it much more, and I've done open world farming with most all the classes, and Crusader is just by far my favorite. Now, ideally, what you want to go for in this type of open world farm where you're just running over the monsters is over 1 million DPS for your current challenge rating level, combat rating level. And I am over that 1 million mark. We're almost at the 1 minute, so let me concentrate on that. All right, pause it there. 87 million. We're well over the 1 million damage per second, which means we can pretty much run over anything and it's just going to die. We don't have to stop. We don't have to come back. Really good open world farm damage. Here's the breakdown of it. You can see where most of the damage is coming from. Horse is doing great damage. The consecration doing excellent damage. And the horse damage is also my primary attack. As you see, there's nothing in the primary. So that's the reason the horse's damage is so high, because it is including my primary. Otherwise, it would have been the lowest of all of them. Now, what I've discovered with, that's my old build, this new build here, activate, we'll go over the slight differences, is that I'm no longer using Berserker's Eye. Instead, I'm going to use Pain of Subjugation. Deals 16% increased damage. Well, Berserker's Eye did 16%, didn't it? But this does 16% to enemy suffering loss of control. Well, since I have almost 100% uptime on my Consecration and my Luminous Rain, and both of them slow all the monsters, everything we're hitting has loss of control. So I can use Pain of Subjugation instead of Berserker's Eye. You can use either one you like. I prefer this one a little bit more because I don't have the downside of taking extra damage. It is whatever. I've tested both gems side by side with the exact same build for 1 minute, and I did 3 tests on each, and for some unknown reason, the Pain of Subjugation always came out slightly better DPS. I don't have an answer for that, but since it worked every single time that the Pain of Subjugation had slightly better DPS, I chose to go with Pain of Subjugation. Now let me show the rest of the differences here. We are going to use the sweep attack. As you can see, I have it on my bar here. We're not going to use from the old build. So you can see we had Spinning Shield and Impregnable Orbit. Now we have sweep attack. So with that sweep attack, it's going to do all this crazy good damage right here. You're about to see this. Since I didn't need the impregnable shields, I looked through the equipment to try to figure out what offhand I could use to best suit this. Really, there's nothing that mattered, but if you get an alchemical shrine or you pick up an orb or something that freezes the monsters, that would be total loss of control. And then on those monsters, while you have that buff, you will do 57% more damage. So because every now and then it happens in open world, you get those buffs, I went ahead and took this because when that buff is active, stuff is just going to die even more instant. Other than that, everything else remained the same. All my gems remain the same except for the Berserker's Eye over Pain of Subjugation and the skill change and the 2 pieces of gear change. So now that you see that all the same stuff, you can see my damage rating is 26,000. My combat rating is 35,781. Going over my secondaries, you can take a look there. So this is what I've pushed. Cooldown reduction 10%. Definitely want to get that high enough to keep your abilities going as much as possible. So let us show you the damage from this build. We'll go right here in about 1 minute. Here we go. We hit the horse, the auto attack, and the skills. Now, as you can see, that flail hits 360, everything around you. And as you can also see, 100% uptime. It has a little bit of hesitation when casting other abilities, but other than that, all my abilities here, beside my falling sword, pretty much 100% uptime. Once I get my bottle of hope a little bit higher, I hope that to get that 100% uptime everything. Now, this farming is great. It's just as effective as the other one. I will switch back one moment to show the range on the shields versus the range on the flail. That's the only other thing I forgot to mention. So the ranges will be coming at the end of this DPS test. A little bit of time left. 3, 2, and there you have it. 92.5 million versus the, what was it, 88, 80 something. Again, they're about the same. If you don't have the essence, no worries. But with the essence, it's absolutely a better build. And it's a fun build. I prefer it. I like the way it looks. I like the way it hits everything around me. And I like that it's 100% uptime. So we're going to let all the cooldowns stop for a second. We're going to show you the range on the flail. I need to get to the breakdown. So you can see the flail is hitting at the same range the horse is hitting. Alright, without moving. Cooldowns are up. Without moving. We're going to switch back over to the other loadout just to show you the shield. No damage is going. We're going to do horse and shield. So as you can see, if the horse is hitting, if that aura is hitting, so is the shield, so is the flail. So as far as range goes, even though the shield looked like it's smaller, and maybe even the flail looks like it's smaller, that is the range. You can see it much better with the horse right there. That's how large your AoE range is with either one of these two builds. So I hope you choose one of them. I hope you have the essences, and if you don't, good luck in getting them, because I definitely have fun with that flail, and it does great damage. It does a lot more damage than the shield does, and like I said, it's just 100% uptime versus, as you see here, the shield uptime is not. That constant damage helps out with other people's gems depending on your setup. Happy hunting, and I hope you enjoyed.